For two reasons. One is to see Mr. President, and second one is to join my colleagues, APC governors, for a meeting with Mr. President. And I just finished a meeting with Mr. President, and the object of my meeting with Mr. President is about his official visit to Ebonyi State to commission a lot of our completed projects. And we've agreed that it's going to come by April. The exact date I won't be able to say, but he has directed that scope should work with our state to agree on the date of the visit.
What are these projects?
Oh, we have quite a lot of projects in Ebonyi State. We have the King David Medical University. We have over 2,000 completed roads built with concrete. We have the biggest mall you can ever imagine in West Africa built in Ebonyi State. We have one of the wonders of this nation, and that is the Mr. President Buhari light tunnel flyover bridge with fountain on top. Of course, we have the largest fountain you can ever think of in West Africa. We have the international market. We have the industrial cluster. Time will fail me to name the projects completed, but they're there, and I'm sure you'll be part of that visit to see what God has done with us in this 6 years plus. It could be just your own imagination, because there is no such thing. You can see us in the various media houses, social media. You can see my supporters everywhere. You can see my consultation. I even consult those who are also aspiring. And that shows you how committed I am to this cause. And I think it's God's project. So there is no such thing. Whatever is God's project, no such consideration will come to such projects. I'm not yet Mr. President, so how do you want me to think like Mr. President? So I can't preempt what Mr. President is calling us for. And I love Mr. President. I love, our leadership style of Mr. President. And as the leader of the party, I'm very much loyal to him, loyal to the party. And I will carry out whatever instructions he gives to the letter, because he's a man that is very fair, and he's a man that has the interests of this country at heart. So whatever instructions or advice he may give us, I, the governor of Ebonyi State, will abide, by such instructions. Yes. Do I look worried? Am I still not David? You see, God has plans for everything. And I think that God allowed one court to give judgment that I go nowhere, allowed another court to say, because we defected and the votes belong to the party. And I'm very much worried, because the highest court has said that votes belong to the candidates. And that's why, even though APC won the election in Bayelsa State, but the deputy governor's credentials were defective. And even a day to the swearing in, the Supreme Court ruled disqualifying the candidate of APC that won the election because of his deputy. And so if votes belonged to the party, it would have been that the Supreme Court, in their wisdom, would have just asked for the man that won the election for party to bring a substitute to do that. So I'm not worried because in the first place, there is no constitutional provision that says that a governor can be sued in the first place. So I'm not suable, but a court judgment is a court judgment. I'm not to interpret it, but the Constitution we swore to uphold, I can speak to the Constitution. And the Constitution says that when once you are elected, you enjoy immunity. And Supreme Court says votes cast in an election belong to the candidates. And that's why you have qualifications of a candidate and no qualifications of a political party. So I am not worried. But you see, God allowed it so that where I couldn't reach in terms of my consultation, this situation has made it possible for me to reach those places and to truly see that Nigerians, they love me and they want me, and that is the reason for that. And I want to thank the PDP and even the man that boasted that he did that hatchet job. If the people that crucified Christ knew that it would bring salvation to the whole world, they wouldn't have done that. So it is likened to the hatchet man that boasted, is likened to Judas Iscariot. And so I have no worry because the Constitution is clear. I have confidence in the judiciary. And so you can see I've added some weight in these few days and looking more handsome. The probably difference between us will be our faith. I serve only the living God, and probably a lot of alcohol. I don't drink. So that may be the differences between us. Otherwise, he remains my friend and my brother, and I have nothing against him. The situation is politically induced, and we have risen to that task, and I have warned the oppositions that they can be in the Facebook claiming to have won elections they didn't participate in. They could hire all sorts of government to come and kill our people, but we've risen to the challenges, and I can say that the Commissioner of Police is a gift to Ebonyi State. Despite all their blackmail, we have overcome them, and we have conquered insecurity to over 95%. So I think we are good in Ebonyi State in terms of security. The Bubago we inaugurated, they are doing fantastic work, and that is what the opposition they are afraid of. But funny enough, that this opposition, this Bubago was once called the Neighborhood Watch. It's a local vigilante. And it's still the same National Assembly PDP from Ebonyi that nominated a lot of them. And because they're afraid that they won't be allowed to commit violence in Ebonyi State. So that's why they're doing everything, fighting. And over 15 cases, even local government cases, are brought to the Federal High Court. It is an abomination and given to 2 judges. Why should over 15 cases of Ebonyi State be given to 2 judges? So we are watching them, but they can do all that they can do in Abuja, but they can never try it in Ebonyi State, no matter whom they are, including the man that he says is behind our trouble. He will give us trouble from outside Ebonyi, but he cannot step into Ebonyi to cause crisis. I will show him that I'm a governor with a difference. should be the one telling me. You heard him in a channel, boasting that is behind a main man that depends on the breath of God. I pity illiteracy. Say shame. You are boasting to remove another governor. What qualifies you? Just because you are packing money that is public fund. Not intellectual material, but just packing money from public funds, and you are boasting about it. Otherwise, whom were you? I became a billionaire at the age of 25. I've worked all my life, and I've asked him to come for public debate. I do not commission 3.4-kilometer road. I commission 35-kilometer roads. I commission twin flyovers running to 1 kilometer. I commission mega projects with little resources. So if he says he has done well and there is Mr. this or that, let him come for public debate with me. Let me know, let's start with our childhood, So I'm not disturbed.